All right, are we on? All right, let me know if everything is good to go. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I got to bring over chat. Chat overlay. There we go. Okay, now does this work? There we go. What's up, 24 Mountain? Are you new? Or have you like changed your name or something? I don't think I've seen your name before. I like that little quote you got there. Only to the moon, buy now or cry soon. I like that. Oh, dude, my eyes. There we go. Little dry, but that's fine. Starting to finally... September is typically the time it cools down a little bit in Arizona. Hopefully by the end of this month it'll be cooler. Just getting... Well, recently there was actually a storm, so it's cooled down a lot the last couple days. But before that, it was just repetitive over 105 degrees like every day. So if I didn't get my walk in or my exercise out like in the morning, there was just no way. So Pasternak, what's up? Nicely done. Yeah, I've been meaning to get on like Corey or my collectibles on the stream on some time. I just need to be consistent with my streams first, but I do want to have them on and just kind of, just kind of shoot the shit. We don't have to constantly talk about Veve and improvements. You know, we can nerd out a bit, talk about collectibles or movies coming out or cards and, whatever it is. So let me catch up with chat. You put up on your screen the 3 collectibles that pump the most. Yeah, those ones. I mean, they've pulled back a little bit. Todd, Superman, and what was it? I forgot what else I put on there. Todd, Superman, and like Walt, right? Is that what I put? No, Todd, Superman, and Vader. Yeah. So yeah, all 3 of those pumped quite a bit. We are in a slight retrace, or we're heading back towards lows again. Potentially, I will say, in my opinion, I do think there was a lot of hype around. It was almost kind of like a slingshot effect, right? Like they announced no more gem cash out, so a lot of basically panic selling happening. So people were flooring Todds for as low as like 315, right? I think it was hovering around, or even lower than that, I think. Did it ever go below 3? I'll have to double check, but I thought it was like hovering around 4, then the announcement came, then it went all the way down to like 315, almost 300. And then obviously people started buying that up. I mean, that only lasted like 3, 4, 5 days at most, like all the panic selling on like the Grails, or at least like a lot of the collectibles worthwhile. A lot of collectibles that still have not recovered from that. Like only the Grails, like I've showed, like Superman, Todd, Walt, Vader, that kind of stuff. So those have actually recovered, and if anything, they're a bit higher now than where they were before. But I do think we're going to have a slight retracement with the Grails, but a lot of collectibles had just not recovered. It's like a lot of collectibles were low. Then the gem, the no more gem cash out happened. Then they went even lower, and they still have not recovered. I think there was, some floor buying and stuff like that. I'm just kind of glad I did do a lot of selling like 2 months prior to that announcement. I wasn't completely finished selling, but I did sell like a lot of comics and collectibles. I think I sold like 50 or 60 collectibles. It was just stuff I didn't really care for, or the novelty of it kind of wore off. Or it's like, all right, I'd rather own another Todd. Like I actually did sell one of my Grogu's, I think for like 220 or something like that a while ago, but it allowed me to like buy another Todd. So I was happy with that. I think Omi will go down as people will put sell pressure, my guess. I think so too. I mean, Omi's already at 0003, right? Omi price. Wow, it's actually below 0003. Yeah, so I'm sure that was a little resistance point there, but I mean, the good thing is that there's more eyes on Veve than there was before, right? Prior to that, I mean, hardly anyone heard about Veve. Luckily, on one of the most recent red days in crypto, Omi was doing extremely well. Omi kind of has that tendency to kind of counterbalance the market. It's not always, but it's done it, I think, like 2 or 3 times prior. where like the general crypto market's down, but like OMI will slowly just kind of steadily go up. And because basically OMI was like a top 10, maybe even like the #1 token for like altcoins or whatever for going up during that short period of time, more people saw it, so there's more trading happening. Who knows? What's up, Gary? Thanks for stopping by. Pasternak, am I the only Wolverine fan on Veve? FA show no love. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I brought that up on BE stream. There's like Wolverine, but also too, like a lot of the Grail comics have not budged at all. I was kind of surprised about that too. Like I thought some of the Grail comics did get undercut, right, because of the no more gem cash out thing. And I'm sure a few got bought, but after that, yeah, they just haven't really recovered. I remember the standard for like Grail comics, I'm talking like FA Wolverine, FA like Thor, FA like, I don't know about Iron Man, Hulk, like those comics, like those were always around like 15-ish gems. Sometimes they would go between like 12 to 20. It would just kind of depend. But they just really haven't recovered all that much since then. Too many Wolverine. Yeah, there is I think 3,000. Let's just take a look really quick. Oh, I gotta fix the, oh, there it goes. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. Yeah, I mean, we technically do have a lot of different versions of Wolverine, but there's still only one FA, which is this one. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that this one's below retail, because I believe this one was 50 or 60 gems. Yeah, 50 gems. So technically it's pretty much at retail for the most part. I have 4. I think at one point I did have 6, so I did sell a couple of them. I forgot like what prices, but obviously higher than what I bought them for. Yeah, there's 3,100 of them, almost 3,200 essentially, which I think is right on that cusp of like just being too many. It's not a lot. I mean, you look at SR Vader, or not SR, but UR Vader, right? There's like 6,000 Vaders, and then there's also another, 11,000 commons, and then 10,000 uncommons or something like that. So there's technically way more Vaders. Even if you just look at the ultra rares, there's way more. There's twice as many Vaders as there is. 6,000. So just shy of twice as many. But then we have all these other Vaders too. Go back another. How many are the commons again? Yeah, 11,000 commons. And I believe like the uncommons were, I guess I could have just clicked down here. I don't know why I went the long way. Yeah, 10,000 of these. So yeah, 11,000. So there's almost 30,000 Vaders. Roughly. So I think there's like 28,000 technically total, if you're looking at FA Vaders. So, but yeah, he's been doing a great job holding his value. The ultra rare especially. I know there's been some speculation I've kind of heard that like there could be like an SR craft or something with Vader at some point, but I don't know. At that point, if there was a craft, it wouldn't be FA, so you would lose that tag. It's kind of similar to these guys. I don't know if you remember. Like the Thing. So this Thing is first appearance, right? Because it was part of that Marvel Mighty set. But then there was this craft to make them essentially animated. Why are we not going back? Yeah, and this one's not FA, if I remember right. Yeah, it's not first appearance. So there could be some sort of craft or something with Vader, or even some of the just other, if they... Vive's already said they kind of felt like, at least David Yu has said, they felt like some of the older comics, there's just kind of too many of them, right? And it would be really cool to have some sort of crafting or burning mechanism for them. And they could do the same for collectibles if they feel like there's just too many. But I think it still wouldn't be first appearance, though, because, these were made years ago. Pixel Trader, what's up? Thanks for the emotes and stopping by. Luke's Fights, sup? Sup vibes, how's life been? It's been pretty good. Just trying to focus on, working out and few other things. Been visiting some family recently too, which has been nice. So taking time to do that. Adrian, hello. Yeah, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, a lot of people are asking me like, "Hey, where you been?" And can you do some market updates? And yeah, there's been a lot of market stuff happening, mostly Grails, right? Superman's gone up quite a bit. I remember messaging people. I don't know if it was in my Discord or maybe it was just one of my friends. But I remember messaging them. I was like, "Man, Superman's at like 120 at a certain point, maybe slightly below, and now he's almost doubled in price. I'm pretty sure he was at 250 not long ago." And obviously we've had a lot of undercutting since then. Vader, we already looked at. I think Vader was bottoming out at like 150, 160. Yeah, he's up too. But I think this one did top out at like 250. So he did go up by like 100 gems. What was the other one I put on? I forgot what my thumbnail looks like already. Superman. Oh yeah, Todd. Duh. And Todd is the other one we want to look at. We can maybe, if we really want to dig into it, we can look at the charts. But I mean, I'll be honest, I look at Veve every single day. I have the same handful of collectibles I look at almost every single day just to kind of get a gauge on the prices and what's happening. I will say the floor on Todd is getting pretty darn thin. 515, 520, 550. And then it jumps up to 650, then 700. Yeah, we're essentially 4 sales away from 650, so it going up like 30%. And then I'll just say, yeah, 5 sales from 700. I'll just say that, like 5 sales from 700, and that means it's going up by like 40%. It's been cooler than normal in SoCal desert, 100 degrees plus humidity. Oof, that's rough. Dude, I couldn't handle, I mean, we do have our like monsoon season and it's starting to hopefully come to an end here in the next month or so. But yeah, there were some wild storms recently and it gets really humid like the day after. Usually for the next 2 days, it stays pretty humid. Obviously the day after is like the worst. Yeah, I've been living in Arizona for gosh, like 6-7 years at this point, and part of me I am starting to miss a little bit of actually having like different seasons and stuff. Back when I used to live in other states, California and stuff like that, when you actually experience like all 4 seasons versus here where it's just summer most of the time. It's like there's like summer, spring, fall, and there's like not really a winter. I mean, it can get chilly, but this competition has caused the Grails to go up, but the prices will go down as soon as the competition starts to end. Yeah, well, the interesting thing is they do have weekly competitions, right? So technically there's always 2 competitions going on. I mean, they could discontinue it. Not the competitions, but maybe like they could adjust like weekly, or they can maybe just do monthly. But right now, technically there's like a monthly and a weekly OMI competition going on. Yeah, like on the OMI side. And I do think that's a big reason why prices have hiked up, right? Because people were just stoked about the rewards and all that stuff. But even then, do I have Stacker here? Okay, I do have Stacker here. So we'll look at the leaderboard. Yeah, I mean, even Veve has these like very short term. Let's just refresh it. Has these like these like short term hype cycles, right? Is this just not working with me? Okay. Yeah, I'm still getting, I don't know about you guys, but I still get issues with Stacker. I'll get logged out constantly. I know there's a lot of traffic and competitions and stuff going on, but even I'm still kind of having some issues on there. Let's see. Yeah, OMI burned. Jeez, this one's burned over 500,000 OMI. And I remember selling some like $2 or $3 comics that was burning like 600-700 OMI. So the fact that they're getting that much, yeah. I mean, if people are saying like, oh, whales are gonna win the weekly rewards, I'm like, dude, go for it. If you want to spend $4 or $5 grand or even more than that to earn $300 worth of OMI or whatever, 1.5 million OMI is for the week, go for it. It's almost like a cash back, right? It's almost like it's a competitive leaderboard thing, but it's like a risky cash back because it's like, or you spend X amount and like you could get 1 to 2% back, maybe if you just kind of top the leaderboard. And we still don't know the monthly rewards, right? I'm assuming they might reveal the monthly rewards in like probably maybe like halfway through the month. I don't think they want to wait too late on the monthly rewards, but that's what I'm curious about. I do think once this pullback happens, when the monthly rewards are announced, because there could be OMI and collectibles and some other utility and an airdrop and like 4 other things involved with the monthly rewards. Like once that's announced, there could be another pump or another wave of essentially, whales just opening their wallets a bit more when it comes to like OMI or gems, mostly OMI. So I'm delisting my stacker listings because I set the price when OMI was at, I think you mean 000 yeah, and now the prices are down 30%. Yeah, that's the one bit of feedback I really, I'm gonna make videos at some point, like 5 bits of feedback and 5 things I love, or I don't even know how I'm gonna name it, but it's like 5 good things and basically 5 improvements that like Stacker needs, and then 5 bits of feedback and improvement that like Veve needs. Like on Stacker, I really wish I could just list it for a flat dollar amount instead of, and actually have the price adjust with OMI as it's live versus like listing it for OMI, and if OMI crashes overnight, right, and then all of a sudden, or if it goes up a lot in price, now the thing I'm trying to sell for $5 worth of OMI, now it's worth like 7, and no one's buying it because the price went up, or vice versa. So obviously, if you're a buyer, you want to buy it when the price of OMI is high, because it takes less OMI, or I guess the price of OMI is locked in. But I see what you mean, Gary. There is a lot of push and pull with like the OMI price and stuff. Right now, you can only list for OMI, but I really wish you could just set a flat dollar amount, or in this case, under $1 for a lot of these comics, and just set it and forget it. I'm not going to really bother to sign in right now. I do have a few listings. Mostly it's just, honestly, dollar comics that I just cannot get rid of. For example, like if I go to my comic listings, lowest floor price, things like House of M, I go here and there's just, there's a huge wall of $1 comics that no one's buying because you can't list it for less than $1 on Veve, but on Stacker you can. If you want to get something out of your comic, you can. And it's kind of nice because you do get a little bit of points on the leaderboard. You get a tiny bit more OMI. And as you accumulate more OMI, right, you get more MCP points. You get more like OMI rewards or whatever utility they're going to add. So that part is pretty cool. Yeah, these are a lot of the comics I'm mostly, I don't want to get rid of any singles. So if I only have 1 Young Avengers or 1 Strange Academy, usually I'm just going to keep it because some of these comics I do like the cover of, or I just want to keep it just for the sake of saying I have it. But usually a lot of the doubles of comics I either don't care for, or I'd rather just get the few thousand extra OMI out of it. That's kind of my plan right now. What was I going to look up? Oh yeah, some of these charts. I'm just kind of curious to see what's up and what's down today. I honestly don't look at my NFT tracker as much as I probably should. Man, what is up with these websites today? Let's do 24-hour trend and then collectibles and see which ones have gone up. Oh my gosh. This Black Panther SR, I guess, went up like 3,000 gems or something like that, maybe more. I'm assuming that the floor, I will say there was a lot of delistings recently that I had, so I'm assuming maybe other people had delistings. Whoops. That might be why the price went up so much. This was another one. Dragon Girl went up quite a bit. Let's look up Dragon Girl. Like, did anybody actually buy it, or was it just delistings? Even though I spelled Dargan, it's still not. That's one thing I do like about Stacker. When you misspell something, it kind of figures out essentially what you want. Yeah, see this went from $5 all the way up to 20. Let me try something. Well, my internet's fine. Did a quick speed test and it seems to be fine. Yeah, I mean, it does look like someone just really swept the floor on Dragon Girl. I was like loading the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, someone went in and just bought just 14 Dragon Girls off the floor. How many mints does this one have again? It should say here. Circulation, almost 7,000, so a little bit on the higher side. But it's still, if I remember correctly, Dragon Girl was the very, very last Season 1 collectible before it went to Season 2, essentially. I do think in the, maybe not even like this cycle or like this bull run or whatever, but I do think maybe the next cycle, once we're on like, you know, Season 17 or 18 or even higher than that, I do think like a lot of people are just going to want to collect just random Season 1 collectibles, including Dragon Girl and that kind of stuff, just for novelty's sake. Yeah, someone just completely swept the floor on Dragon Girl, which is interesting. It was pretty cheap. I did notice Dragon Girl at 5 gems, and I thought about buying one, but I was like, yeah, I'd rather stack more comics. And so far, it also seems like collectibles are pumping more than the comics. Like, the Grail comics haven't really recovered all that much. Actually, before we jump into comics, we'll keep looking at kind of like what's up right now. Starlight Orb, interesting. Steamboat Willie, the Jaunty Jig one. Man, was this really like below 5 gems at one point? Oh, well, that's because there's 20,000 of these, or 18,000, 19,000 of these. Yeah, I guess this one was hovering below 4 gems for a little bit. Captain America, not the FA version, though. Pencils. Throg. The Avon. Some Lambos up right now. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of... I do think part of this is delistings. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of rhyme or reason on these. Like, well, let me look that one up. Like, did someone actually go in and buy a bunch of these? No, it's just delistings. Well, that's kind of wild. Yeah, there's only been 2 purchases in the last, like, week. 3 purchases, I guess, technically, on this Lambo. So, yeah, I mean, it went up by a lot because I think the floor is just thin. Got some Tarzan. FA Gambit. How many of them are 2,200? Yeah. That's kind of wild. There's actually less Gambits than like Wolverine and stuff like that. I mean, some people don't like it because it's like a Marvel Mighty, but I do think those are some decent ones to keep an eye on. Like some of the Marvel Mighties, I'm kind of surprised. I think last I saw like Rhino, and there was a few other ones that were pretty cheap. I think last I checked, this is like 2 gems. I think this also has the same amount of 3,500. Okay, I thought this was a little bit closer to 2,000. I think this is because it's the common. Yeah, it's a common. Video Shane, what's good, dude? Thanks for hanging out. Big A, I was watching your guys' live stream this morning, or at least part of it. Nice seeing you guys. JKRB. What's up? Yeah, today's drop. Yeah, it's honestly been a while since I've gone for a drop on Veve. Like I like watching the live streams with you and BE. But yeah, a lot of these drops I've just kind of skipped. There's not really up my alley. I'm trying to think the last one I went for. I think the last one I went for was technically Coca-Cola. I just bought one bottle just for the hell of it, you know. The only way to get an SE or you know, the one of one is you have to click the button at least once, right, to get it. But I knew for a fact these were going to go to like 1 to 2 gems. I almost made a video about it. I don't know, like maybe I shouldn't, like I almost made a video about it, but people were just so hyped and it was the first one of one. I was going to just kind of tell everyone, I'm like, you know, and it's also weird because like Veve's like ramping up their like affiliate stuff. I'm sure they don't care too much about like what we say, as long as we're not saying it's like terrible or we're like terribly flooding it. But like I was just going to tell everyone like, dude, all the combos are just going to go for 1 to 2 gems. And then, you know, SCs and SRs and all the other ones are obviously going to do well, right? Before that, so I clicked that button once. I'm trying to think of the other drops I went for. I didn't go for any of these. I think I did go for this one, maybe. I don't remember. I definitely went for the red metallic, which reminds me, what's this at right now? 200? All right, it's actually holding on decently well. It's not down to like 140 or anything like that. I think that's technically its all-time low. It's like 140. So it's still holding its value decently well. Hopefully Veve announces whatever craft or utility or whatever red metallic thing is going to happen with Spider-Man, because I do think the longer they wait on announcing it, people are just going to slowly get, you know, more and more impatient and possibly start undercutting. Dude, what's going on? Slider, what's up? Picked up AF15 common, 582 for 250. FA Joker mint 357 for 28. That's very good. The Joker mint is crazy. AF15, that's also another good one too. I'm not sure how much that is above floor, but the Joker one is a good pickup for 25, like a 3-digit. There's a lot of. Let's see if I can remember some of the FA collectibles I've been looking at, and I'm like, wow, that is. You know, obviously none of this is financial advice, but I'm just like, man, that is pretty darn cheap. You know, you look at this FA Joker for 25. Yeah, I mean, that's floor price. If you get a 3-digit, that's incredible. Because this is wild. So this and Todd have the same amount of mints, both at 7,500. But this is 1/20th, you know, the price of Todd right now. You know, Todd's basically at 500. Or I think it did pull back, right? Let me double check. Yeah, it's at 500. And so this is essentially at 25, Joker. So is arguably, I mean, in my opinion, this and Vader are both #1 and #2 most popular, pretty much villains of all time. Like if you go on any online forum or if you even just Google like top 5 most popular like fictional villains, like Joker and Vader are always like top 3, like over and over and over again. Issue is there is a lot of mints. The fact that it is a season 1 collectible and it's part of that black and white series is pretty cool too. I'm trying to remember some other ones too. I think Venom was kind of another one I was keeping an eye on. I might get a second one. Mostly because, yeah, I mean, if this thing gets closer to 100 gems, I mean, the fact there's only 1,000 of these, or I should say 1,100, I mean, that's on the scarce side. I think if you're hovering around 1,000 or less, that's on the scarce side for a collectible, especially one that's considered like a #1 or #2 villain, Spider-Man. I think, you know, people that are fans of Spider-Man are like the villains. I'm sure they would debate like whether Green Goblin or Venom or whichever ones are like #1 and 2. What was another one I was looking at? I'm just kind of spitballing ideas at you guys. Gosh, there was another one I had in the back of my hand. Or back of my hand. Back of my head. Green Lantern and Darkseid. Yeah, both of those are very good. They both have crazy animations too. I don't know if you guys have. Unfortunately, I can't really show it on the computer because they don't have animations for PC yet. Yeah, I did see this at 10 gems for multiple days. 2,400 editions is kind of splitting the difference between like Wolverine and Venom, right? And then Darkseid. I already have it there. I've already typed it in a few times. And then Darkseid's another one. I don't know. It's hard to say. Wow, there's one on the floor for 8.88 gems. So single digit gems is kind of wild for a, kind of the quote unquote Thanos of the DC universe. 2,000 editions, less than Green Lantern, but any like unique mints? There's a 3-digit on the floor, 343. That's not bad for floor price, just above the 888. Any like wild mints down here? No, 1970. Bromy. JKRB, have you seen the Marvel movies trailer? I have not. I saw a couple like YouTube shorts, I think like reacting to it. I didn't see the short, but I just saw it as I was like scrolling through YouTube or on my phone. But I'll have to watch it. With Omi down 20% the past week, anything listed on Stacker a week ago is 20% cheaper. Also, could be some opportunities there. That's a good point. Maybe I'll stop being lazy. Hold on, let me just log into Stacker really quick over here on this side. Because I have been buying some stuff on Stacker. I'll show you guys my transactions. Is this the right one? All right, let's see this. Also, Stacker just seems to be going kind of slow. Like right now, I'm waiting for it to ask me to like connect my VV account. Oh, Marvel Zombies. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to. I haven't watched the video. I'll have to check it out. But you know what I did? Speaking of movies, you know what movie I did rewatch for the first time in a long time? Is actually Predator. And then it reminded me. I'm like, I know we have Predator on VV, but we don't have a collectible, right? We have the posters of like the movies and stuff, but we don't actually have like a Predator collectible, which would be sick. If they drop Predator, I would definitely buy one. And of course, the scene with all of them like just shooting in the forest with the minigun and Arnold and everyone else, that scene was awesome. I don't know why that randomly popped in my head, but there's more awesome scenes and testosterone in that movie than there has been probably in the last like 5 to 10 years of Hollywood movies and action movies. Even though Thanos is low now, like 14 gems. Yeah, let's check out. I'm talking about this one, like the ultra rare Thanos. Yeah, dude, this one's still technically FA, right? Because they came out at the same time as like the other Thanos. So 9 gem Thanos. I know it's not the warrior version, but and I'll be honest, like even this version of Thanos, like the warrior, he wasn't in this like outfit that much. I think there was a handful of scenes, like flashback scenes and stuff like that. And I think potentially in the final battle, he was in this outfit at one point, but then like his armor came off and stuff. So 120 Thanos SR. Oh yeah, I forgot this got burned in half. So this one actually has 1,100 mints, just like Venom, almost exactly 1,100, like Venom. The UR, I think, yeah, dude. UR Thanos is like 9 gems right now. Joker's first or second on top of villains. Also, the FA on VV is Jim Lee. Crazy how low it is. I think it's just there's a lot of mints on it. I think that is a like if you already have like, I don't know, a few Todds, right? 3, 4, 5 plus, and you're thinking about getting another one, like you could, but again, not financial advice, but like some of the ones that are cheaper, that's kind of part of the reason why me personally, I am buying a lot of the kind of like B tier, high B tier, like comics that have like pretty popular, or at least like well-known FAs, and buying them for like 2 gems or less, because I think those are going to be ones that are be like much easier to like DCA out of. Like, and I still have some like the Grail comics, right? Like A15 and stuff like that. But when you only have like 2 or 3 of them, it's kind of hard to know like when to sell it, right? When the market starts getting hot. But if you have 20 or 30 of something and you can slowly DCA out of it, or anytime there is a drop, you're like, all right, I'll just sell this comic for 20 gems. And then that'll be enough for the drop versus like, all right, do I sell my Todd now for 2,000 gems? Or do I wait? Because now I have a, I think you want a combination of like big time grails and big pieces, but you also want to have a stack of things that you can kind of just slowly sell out of to like play the next drop. Because now that, I mean, there's going to be Omi to gem and stuff, so there's going to be ways to get gems, but I don't think everyone's going to want to, constantly swipe their credit card. People are going to want to leverage either their crypto assets or the assets they already have on Veve to get gems, right? Let's see here. I was going to make another point, but I forgot where I was going with it. Also on McFarlane Digital, the Heath Ledger Joker sells for like $15. Yeah, I haven't been on McFarlane Digital. Honestly, nothing against them. It's just when I went on McFarlane Digital, I went for a few drops. I got a spawn and a few other things, but then I stupidly clicked like a link or something like that, like 3 years ago, and got that whole wallet drained, including all my collectibles, which is kind of sucked because like I had a handful of collectibles from my collectibles. I think like the drop heads. I also had the like Kid Arcade collectibles. I had a few of those, like really cool, like Wolverine ones. Like those got drained, so I was a little upset. So after that, I mean, I do have some non-Veve NFTs like on my like different wallets and stuff like that. But ever since like the whole McFarlane thing, I don't know, like nothing against them. I just haven't had the time or patience to like really look into it. I have been looking into Candy a little bit. Issue is like, I think I have one account, but I think I do have another account that I want to like transfer over, but I have to like KYC and do some other stuff. So I don't know. It's weird. I need to figure that stuff out too. Every time I load Stacker, it wants me to log in again. And if I just refresh the page, it logs in. Yeah, it's almost like Veve. I remember Veve used to have that issue. Okay, here we go. All right, this is what we were looking at earlier. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see what the heck's going on. Transactions. I don't have that much Omi on my account. I do need to put more Omi into this account. So yeah, I just been selling some dollar comics. This one I knew I could get a bit more Omi for because we're kind of at the point now where it's like when Omi is cheap, that's when you really want to, like, at least in my mind, sell your stuff, right, for Omi. Because if it's cheaper, you get more Omi out of it. Versus if Omi gets more expensive, now your stuff is worth, like less Omi. Or people might be a little bit less inclined to buy it. And that's what I mean. I really wish I could just sell it for a flat dollar amount. That way the price adjusts with the price of Omi for the most part. But this one was actually a good snag. I actually did get Sentinel mint 150 for like 5 gems. At the time it was $5. Obviously Omi's gone down a bit, so now it's cheaper. But that's just slightly above floor price at the time. Let's check out the listing, see what people are listing stuff for. Spider-Woman. And this is what used to confuse me, like the whole floor. So the Stacker floor, that's the floor on Stacker, not Veve. And then the price is the price that the actual collectible is. So like this person listed their Fantastic Four like slightly above the floor price on Stacker. Like this Wolverine, mint 50, secret rare. That's kind of cool. For almost exactly twice the price or floor price there. Yeah, there's some people really flooring this comic. Is it Cooper or Kurt Trooper? I don't know what that is, but he's flooring a lot of Fantastic Fours. Rogue Southern Powerhouse, mint 15. I think that's the SE. Yeah, there's a lot of... Dude, it's wild. I've seen more people list stuff for Omi, obviously, in the last week than I did the last, like, 3 months of Stacker combined. But yeah, no, Big A brings up a good point. That could be a good opportunity when Omi does a big pullback. That could be a good time to buy stuff. But the weird thing is, so this is the weird thing, is that because it's stuck in Omi, you're always spending the same amount of Omi, right? So I guess you would just feel less guilty buying something for 1900 Omi when Omi's down to, 0002 versus 0004, right? So it's still 1900 Omi regardless. And yeah, this price will fluctuate. It just depends on how much Omi you have. So I guess you would just feel less guilty. That's why I think if Stacker can enable a way where you're always asking in a flat dollar amount, the price of Omi would actually fluctuate, That's where you can actually spend less Omi on a collectible, is if you list it for $3, right? And then let's say the price of Omi goes down. It's still $3, but now you're spending, 15,000 Omi versus 20,000 Omi or whatever it is. So that is a bit of feedback I do have for stackers. Like, just allow us to either list for Omi or a flat dollar amount. Whoop. Dang, 9 gems. Yeah, 9 gems on that Thanos. On the 2-gem limited FA, like Thunderbolts or Midnight Suns, a lot of good ones for 2 to 5 gems, yeah. They need to give you the option to sell for USDC or ETH, like on the Mutablex Marketplace. Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. Caveat would be not to use your holding Omi, but buy new Omi. Oh, yeah. That's true, yeah. If you're going to buy new Omi, yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing, right? It's like, if the price of Omi goes down, you could just buy new Omi and then use that to buy the collectible. Or if you don't have the powder or whatever to buy more Omi, or you just want to use the Omi you already have, that's where I think buying at a flat dollar amount works better for you. But no, you're right. I just give us the option. Give the buyers and the sellers the option to buy either way, I'm all about the market, giving people options to sell, buy how they want, all kinds of stuff. Front, also on McFarlane Digital. Okay, I already looked at all that stuff. What are some other like first appearance collectibles? I was like, darn, that is cheap. Let's just look on this page. I really like this Ben Riley. If Ben Riley gets cheaper, I might pick one up. I know this one has quite a few mints, but I don't know. I've always liked this look of Ben Riley, like all these like crazy acrobatic poses. Like when I think of Spider-Man, that's the way. It's almost like a Todd McFarlane version of it, where they're just doing these like crazy acrobatic stances and stuff. Dude, why is this not? There we go. RoboCop's below 20. Gosh, I should have written down a list or something of certain collectibles. I'm like, wow, that is that cheap. And I was actually pretty surprised. But yeah, like I said, like unless it was considered a Grail or a very, very big blue chip collectible, like a lot of collectibles got undercut heavily during the, no gem cash out announcement, and they just never recovered. What's the SR Sentinel going for? All right, 150. At least the bid is going for 150. Yeah, that's cheap. I think Daredevil could go cheaper. Daredevil's one of those heroes that I do think that like a lot of comic enthusiasts like. Like anytime I hear Sleeping Comics or even my collectibles or Comics Encrypted, like when they talk about Daredevil, there's like, oh yeah, Daredevil. I don't know, like how do you guys feel about, I know a lot of the, I don't want to use the term like the old heads or whatever, that like Tarzan and stuff like that. I even heard some stuff too about people talking about how even like, arguably even Star Wars is starting to be kind of come like a quote unquote kind of old person's like IP. I do think Mandalorian revitalized that. Like, what is a new character that is getting new people excited for the IP, right? Like that's where like Grogu can come in, Mando, stuff like that. But it's like, we're getting to the point now where it's like Luke is a 50-year-old character and they showed him a little bit here and there. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just because there's been so much drama going on in like the movie industry, and I don't know if you guys heard there's an article like Disney's trying to get back like male watchers or people watching movies again and stuff like that. So it's like, or they're trying to get like a younger crowd to like watch their movies again. And you know, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, which IPs are actually gonna do well this next cycle? What's the typical demographic? Like, what do people like? You know, because I'll tell you, like my parents, you know, or it's like my parents' like generation or like that age group probably likes Luke Skywalker way more than I do, right? You know, my generation, I'm in my mid-30s, so it's like, you know, I grew up with like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, so it's a lot of it is like Anakin, you know, like young Anakin, Obi-Wan, at least like those versions of him, Darth Maul, General Grievous, like all the memes, like all the stuff, like the first 3 episodes or first 3 movies, like episodically, you know, episodes 1 through 3, wasn't like, it was good Star Wars. It wasn't the best, but it was definitely the most meme worthy. I think the problem is that I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but see if Slatter gets us back on track. I think the problem is that they want to burn OMI on every transaction, and that's cool, but I'd even pay a small fee in OMI to list in USDC just to avoid the volatility, especially if I ever list a lot. Yeah, that could be a feature they could do. I don't know. I really hope they just aren't just nitpicking little fees for every little. It's like, just give us the, you know, just give us the feature, just give us the opportunity to list it. But then again, I did say, like, if there was a way for me to, if there was a tab here that just said % difference to VV floor, and I could just organize it by that, like what collectibles on Stacker currently have the biggest discrepancy to the VV floor, you know, I would almost pay extra money for that, right? Or sign up for some sort of premium membership that costs 10,000 OMI a month, or however they want to charge it, right? Or if you are diamond or higher on VV, you get that for free, or whatever it is. I mean, I'm just really curious what they're going to do after November, when the whole like gem to cash out fiat thing happens, and like now they can really start playing around with like crazy utility and connections and stuff. So, because I do think Veve has a lot of really cool ideas for like promotions and drops and utility and airdrops, and connecting this with Stacker and what your collectibles can do for Stacker stuff. But I think a lot of it they couldn't do because of all the legality of fiat and cash out. Big A's talked about it a lot, and I agree with a lot of the stuff he said on like BE streams and stuff like that. So I do think like Veve wants to do a lot of cool stuff, but they just couldn't, or they couldn't afford it. Also, part of it too was the 30% fee that Apple and whoever was taking, right? Like that. It's a two-pronged thing. I do think they did the no more cashing out with gems for 2 reasons. One, I'm not sure if it's sustainable if the majority of people on Veve are using their phone to put money in. Which, come to think of it, I pretty much have always done it on the website, probably just because I spend way more time on the PC. And on top of that, plus like, yeah, the whole cash out, like just getting essentially 70 cents on the gem for cash out is not sustainable like long term. So plus the utility of the OMI, right? Like they obviously want to give OMI more utility. So who knows what reason is, more than the other, but ooh, I'm behind on chat. Let me catch up. I don't see gems losing their value. I think they don't match OMI. Would you sell in gems to match OMI sale prices? Wouldn't you sell in gems to match OMI sale prices? I've been thinking about this for a while now. That could be the case. Yeah, like right now, Veve's the one dictating the OMI prices, right? I will say, for right now, OMI is great for buying like comics for under $1. Like we just organize this by price. It's like you can buy Darkhawk if for whatever reason you want to start stacking comics that are less than a gem for 60 cents. You can do that. Yeah, I mean there could be a time where like, yeah, Stacker is the one that starts dictating the price. We just need more people on Stacker, more listings, more money. If there is more money flowing through Stacker than Veve, which is not the case right now, maybe until ETH whales show up or We have an extremely big blow off top. We have a super cycle. NFTs hit as like a huge narrative. Veve is advertising, and like the licensors are also advertising Veve, and everything's hitting on all cylinders. And Stacker becomes like one of the biggest digital trading, platforms. Then yeah, like that's the point where it's like Stacker could be the one dictating the prices, and like Veve's the one that's trying to like catch up, right? People might go to Veve. Like if there is a discrepancy in price, people will just go to Omi to Gem and then just buy like, oh, why would I buy Todd for X amount of Omi? Let's say $1,000 and Omi for a Todd when I could just do Omi to Gem and then get the Todd for like 800 on Veve, right? Even if there is a small fee for doing that, so we'll see. Did you ask my collectibles for some Veve giveaways? I'll do it right now, actually. What the heck is this? Oh, some weird thing. Noticed. All right, I just sent him a message because honestly, I don't know how the content creators do it. I just asked him, I'm like, am I allowed to just do a giveaway every stream, or do I have to ask each time? Because it seems like Informant's able to do it every stream, and then some content creators do it like every video. So I figured I'd rather ask than tell you guys there is a giveaway. If he says yes, then yeah, we'll do a giveaway. Because it's up to him at the end of the day. It's up to Veve. Vivi's the one doing the giveaways, not me, technically. At one time, because that would be a lot of unless unrealist, yeah. I agree, Slider. I have to go and unpost so many items that I wanted to sell at $40. Now they're showing $28 equivalent. And I'm like, so no way. Yeah, that's the other wild thing too, right? If you sell on Veve, it's actually stable, right? When you sell for X amount of gems, the gems don't change in price. Like Omi changes in price, but yeah, that is a big thing, and that's actually a good point, Gary. I'll be sure to put that like in my video. Like just the massive discrepancy between even just, you just saw what happened the last like 2 weeks, right? Like price went up by like 100%, price like basically doubled and then pulled back, and then like doubled again and then pulled back, and now we're back to under 0003. We're at 00029 right now. So we're not back to 0002, which is kind of where the bottom was essentially. I know it did go a little bit below, but I mean, I agree. If you are trying to sell something for more than like a couple bucks, right? And Omi takes like a big dump, and now that thing you wanted to sell for, because for now people mostly think everything in dollar amounts. They don't think about an Omi like, oh, I want to sell this for 2,200 Omi. Like even when I'm trying to sell stuff for Omi, I'm toggling back and forth. I'm like, wait, what's the floor price again? And okay, they put it for 2,200. Like this is typically what happens. Here, let's go up here. Let me look at my collection. Let me see if I can just like sell for a random comic right now. Floor price. I think I already have listings for all these. Sure, whatever. I'll floor this like MODOK, FA MODOK. I don't really care how many listings are there. Yeah, there's a decent little wall below one gem. All right, sell this list. What the? Oh, I'm about to do sell. All right, sell now. List on Stacker. Get flash banged. Star Wars will do good for the next 20 years because the demographic has more disposable income. That's true. Yeah, they are a bit older. I agree with that. Foster mentioned they were going to have other cryptos you can sell for in his informant interview. Not sure if he said 100% coming or being looked into. Yeah, like I'm almost thinking to like depending on how successful Stacker does, like we could get to the point where, I mean, Stacker could have other NFTs on here too, like outside of Veve. I don't know if they would ever do that or how that would even function, but like right now, like it's just Veve. But if we're able to get like other NFT products in here, bring other communities in, right? I don't know. I'm not sure how that would work, but still have everything use Omi. That's where it can get pretty wild. But even just using other crypto, right, to buy and sell stuff would be, I don't know. I mean, you could always, it just depends on how lazy people are with exchanges, right? That you can sell for. It's one of those things. The fact that you can swap between Omi to USDT so easily, USDT you can do with anything, right? Like if you did have a bunch of Devi or a bunch of, random meme coin or whatever, you could always just turn that into USDT, bring it to, use that to then buy Omi or bring it on over to Stacker and then swap that for Omi. Like, yeah, I guess if people really didn't want to sell it and they just want to leverage like certain crypto they already have or like Solana or something like that, sure. But I think Star Wars will always be popular, but it has extra nostalgia for people in the 40 to 65 age range. Yeah. All right, that makes sense. Cool. I just kind of hope because like, I don't know what's been like a really popular character outside of Grogu. Like Grogu's been hands down the most popular character in Star Wars since, the prequels, right? Like I don't really think Rey or some of the other characters are nearly as popular. Toy sales, popularity, people talking about it on Twitter, Instagram, like whatever. It's not every stream, but most. But if there's a giveaway, then it's a sponsored stream and we got to disclose. Okay. All right. Well, if he doesn't get back to me and he says yes, like maybe we'll do it next stream. But for right now, obviously he's probably busy with other stuff. So I didn't expect him to just immediately react to my message to him. I really have to figure out what's going to happen with this Omi Gem thing. If you can think of something no one else has, you can benefit. Well, I do remember, I think it was in Informant's interview, yeah, with Foster. I think Foster did say there will be a fee for going from Omi to Gem. So, I don't know. It was kind of interesting. I knew there was going to be a small fee because, like, you do Omi to Gem, there's a fee. And then if you want to cash out those gems, there's another fee on the sell side. Right? I think 1.5% sell and a 2% buy. So like realistically, anytime a collectible sells on Stacker, there is a basically 3.5% burn that just happens, right? Both on the sell and the buy side that happens. Spent some time looking online at how people view Luke. He's more important of a character than I thought. Looking at picking up an SR. Yeah. No, Luke is a huge character. I guess I'm more talking like the newer generations of people. Like I do know like the majority of crypto people are probably more in the age range of like 25 to 45, right? Maybe like pushing 50-ish. Like that's that's where Veve's going to go now. It's going to go Web3 crypto people. Like I don't think Veve's like completely given up on like the everyday normie, grandma, whatever, trying to get into Veve, but I do think this whole Omi thing's a good move because I've told a lot of people about Veve over the years, like a lot of friends, a lot of family, and like really the only people that have stuck through it, except for like maybe one other, have all been like people that are at least like familiar with crypto and NFTs. Everyone else that's not really familiar with like that realm, they stuck with it just because it was like kind of profitable and like kind of cool with AR for like a few months, and then they just stopped. Like once they saw their collectibles were going down in price, and the novelty of like the AR function kind of like wore off a little bit, they're like, oh, okay. And it's hard. Like if you're swiping your credit card, spending $50 on a drop, it kind of adds up. Even if you're only doing it occasionally, right? Like spending $50, especially if you're going to go for like multiple drops in a month or whatever it is. That's why I kind of encourage people to just like, if you're new to the app, like go to the market, like everything is so much cheaper. I'd rather raise the floor prices, encourage people to go to the market, raise the floor prices to the point where now people are like, oh wait, floor price for this collectible is 40 gems and the box price is 50 gems. Like I might just you know, it's a 10 gem gamble, but I might as well just click the button, see if I get a good mint. Maybe I get an SR or whatever. So Ahsoka is a popular one. I will say that. Ahsoka, she is popular, but I think that's the only one I can think of besides Grogu. Yeah, I'm talking like, yeah, really popular. Yeah, that's kind of it. And even then, Ahsoka's been around since like the, you know, Clone Wars and all that stuff. So I mean, she even kind of became popular shortly after the prequels came out. Oh yeah, I was gonna make an example of this. I go here, so list. So I have to first I'll switch to listing. So it's at 3,000 Omi. I guess I'll just put it for like 2,900, just slightly undercut. 10% fee. That's actually a kind of another reason why, like in the long run, I'm not completely against the. I think that's another reason why people like Todd is because there's only a 2.5% fee with Todd, right? Like the original, the OG black and white collectibles, they have a much smaller fee. My collection, it's too high as 4. So Vader, for example, you get flashbanging again. People actually listing these? Interesting. See, and this is what I mean. Like, there's actually a few technically below floor price on Veve. Like, Vivi's like what, like 210 or whatever, and like these are like below 200. I'm just gonna put it for like a really high amount. There's like 2 million, whatever. So yeah, 10% fee versus. Can I go to my collection here? Vault versus Todd. If I sell this for Omi, again, I'll just put a ridiculously high amount. Yeah, 4% fee. So there's a 6% fee difference between Todd and like the other Grails. Because like, I think Superman, let me check Superman. What's his fee again? Where's Soups? Superman. Whatever. I like how you can click this I button to like hide it. Whatever. Dude, why is it taking so long to... Oh, there it goes. Owned. Sell. Yeah, 4% fee. So yeah, I mean... For some reason, I thought it was only that like original black and white series, but yeah, like I will say that is another benefit to the like earlier DC collectibles is like that those fees can add up. At least if you're getting like huge stacks of them, or if you do have a lot of them. Now, I will say probably Marvel, Star Wars, Disney will, I mean, people like DC and Todd, like, don't get me wrong, but I do think like there are still just way more collectibles, and those probably are going to be more volume and more people. Because I think for DC, people are just going to go for like Superman, Batman, probably Joker, maybe Harley, like what, like same like 4 or 5 characters, and that's kind of it. Like if we're just talking like top tier or whatever. But for Star Wars and Disney and all that, like there's so many to go after. So I do think there's going to be more volume for like those IPs in general. And 6% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're selling a collectible for, you know, 2,000, 5,000, or, you know, like Steamboat Willie, you know, at one point was worth like 10 grand, you know, that's 6% fee. That's an extra 600 gems. And if you own multiples, then yeah, it definitely starts adding up. Let's see. Did anyone go for today's drop in chat? Edward. Now, I did play like the original Assassin's Creed. I think I played the original one for like a few days. It was pretty cool, but I I think I like rented it, I believe, and had to return it. I did like the game, but I didn't like it enough to like buy it. And at the time, I was playing a lot of other games at the time. I do know these are popular, but unfortunately, I do know Ubisoft and all that stuff hasn't had like the best reputation, and there's still quite a few mints on these. What was the price again? 25 is actually not a bad price for this. For some reason, I thought it was like 40 or 50. I will say, like, if they can get these prices down to like 15, I think 15 is a good sweet spot, because 20 does seem like a bit much. 10 is probably a little too cheap, but 15 I think is a good sweet spot for these. Like, if they really wanted this to sell more, because how many are we at now? Common. Okay, so those are crafted. 94. I mean, I don't even think 200 of these sold, because this is common crafted, because that's if you craft the mask. And I think if you go for any of these, you get the mask for free, right? Yeah, you just need any one of the other editions to get the mask for free. Like 25 is an okay amount, but I feel like if they want to start selling out like close to half of these, if you do 15 gems, like I would be willing to press the button once for 15 gems. For 25, that's a lot of common comics I can get for 25. Been passing on most drops. They've been weak lately. Yeah, dude, that's the only thing I wish I did years sooner, was like totally skipping out on drops that are just not, you know, pristine. Because there actually was a, God, I actually watched this video like a few weeks ago, but it was a My Collectibles video before he joined Veve, a My Collectibles video where he talked about, you know, accumulating grails and all that stuff. And like, I think he had like 3 tidbits of advice. And I think one of them was literally like, just ignore the other drops that aren't grails. I don't think that's what he said verbatim, but that's kind of what I got out of it, which is like, all right, like really preserve your gems, because, you know, unfortunately there's been especially on blind box drops, there's just statistically, yeah, you're just going to lose out on gems. That's just kind of how it is. No, I forgot about it. Yeah. You holding gems for flipping still or switching to Omi? Honestly, I've been kind of like oscillating between the two. I was selling a lot of stuff like the last like 2 or 3 months to, you know, get a Todd, get Superman, kind of just get a lot of the collectibles. I get an extra Todd, get a Superman, and a few other like grails that I kind of just like forgot about or like overlooked or never really had the time to. Because now I think like I just knew a few months ago, like that's where they started to like bottom out. I kind of wish I was selling a lot of my stuff and like restructuring my collection a bit sooner, because selling stuff is going to be the hardest part, I think, in all this. When stuff is pumping and then it pulls back, you know, within like a day or two, and, you know, this comic goes up and this one pulls back, like it's going to be hard to figure out what to sell. So it's like, all right, if I can just narrow down my collection to stacking things that I know are going to do well. Like Rhino, I only have 4. I bought a few of these at like 2 gems or less. Mostly because this is a comic that is, I mean, I might buy more but for below 250. Yeah, I'm really focusing on, me personally, these kind of like FA comics that have like less than 10,000 mints, preferably less than 7,500. If they have less than 5,000, even better. And if they're in that like 1.5 to like 3 gem range, like that's kind of what I'm going for, like more recently. Like what, kind of wish I could organize this by like number of comics. I'll do highest floor. Just go backwards this way, I guess. This might be a bit easier. I think Sentinel was one, but I think that one's already kind of pumped a bit. Yeah, it's already at like almost 8 gems. I remember I bought a few of these for less than like 2 or 3 gems. I still have a ton of Planet Deaths. How much are those going for now? I haven't even checked. Okay, so they've gone down a little bit. I think these were at like $5.50 or $5 at one point. Now they're like $4.40. High floor price. I really wish I bought more of these Apocalypse ones, which is funny because I actually did buy an Apocalypse comic at New York Comic Con. Last year, or no, 2 years ago. Yeah, that's when I bought it, because there's not a whole lot of these. There's only like 1,300 of these in circulation. And I do remember when these were like, I think around 3 gems or a little bit less. I kind of wish I bought more. I only have 2, and I think I did sell 1 or 2. Why is this not going back? Oh, it's because I forgot I tabbed that. Adro, what's up? I know you've been chatting in here. I appreciate you hanging out. Unrelated, but I just became the #1 holder of Secret Wars #8 commons. Just waiting on Stacker to update. I always buy a couple whenever you stream. That's awesome. So this one, right? Secret Wars. Let's see where you're at right now. You're probably #2, right? No, you're right there. Yeah, you're #1. It's already updated. That's awesome. Beat him by 1. Now you gotta... You and Vicente, you guys are gonna be battling out back and forth. You gotta get a little bit of a buffer. Wait till people start undercutting. Wes is fudding. Look at Wes fudding all the Secret Wars 8s. Nice, dude. That's awesome, dude. It feels good to be up there. Are there anyone else that's like a top 5 holder of certain collectible? I think I'm top 5 for. Definitely for Planet Death. Yeah, I'm number... I kind of debated just buying like 5 or 6 more to like get over California Comics, you know, but so that's one I'm kind of up there on. I'm trying to think if there's another one. There's a couple comics I'm getting kind of close to being a top 5 collector. This is a time for you guys to flex your collection. It's probably something cheap, something with like that's worth like a couple gems. Where is it? Surfer. I don't think that's not that many. I do have a lot of these Captain America annuals. I don't know. I don't know if I just kept on forgetting that I already owned like a bunch. I think it's just because I like the cover. You know what it is? I think it's because I've gone to multiple comic shops like around here, and even at some other places, and I've shown some of them the app and stuff like that, and both of them commented on this cover and how much they liked it. So I do think it's like it's one of those covers where it's like probably not the most pricey or like the most like collectible cover, but like almost every collector that I've shown like this cover, like they like the classic adamantium versus vibranium, Wolverine versus Captain America, you know, the wild lone wolf versus the respectable and honorable fighter kind of thing. Like there's 2 completely different things, but it's just such an awesome cover. Got to be up there near the top for FA X23. All right, yeah, we'll check that out. There's I don't know. There's some other. Hold on. Am I up there on this? I think I'm close. Oh no, there I am. Barely in there. And honestly, this is it's not hard. This is all right, actually the price went up a little bit. I mean, this is a $1 comic. I bought most of mine for like less than like 1.2 gems or whatever. So like if you really wanted to, you could probably get in this list pretty easily. X23, which one is that again? You'll have to remind me, Pasternak, which one that is. I'm #2 on the Boys' first comic. The Boys. Do we have that comic? Oh, we do. Yep, there's Adro. Oh, shit. 93. Dude, there was someone on here. I saw, I don't know if they had 500 or 1,000 comics of the same thing. It was kind of like a random, you know what? It was the Red Hulk one. But it wasn't Red Hulk #1. It was one of the Hulk ones. What's the Red Hulk? I have Red Hulk. I have to just like find it. I completely forgot the name of it. Lowest floor price. I remember at one point, I don't know if it's because of that Captain America like movie announcement or whatever, but I remember this like Red Hulk comic. Yeah, this one. I remember this one was going for like 3-4 gems at one point. Like people were just super hyped for the movie, and of course, you know, now it's back down to like 1.5 gems or something. Yeah, it's back. It's at 1 gem essentially, but was it this one? Yeah. This guy has 500. I'm sure there's comics with like bigger people with like bigger collections of a comic, but that one just really surprised me because I think I was selling mine. Yeah, I put mine on the floor. And then I looked up, I'm like, dude, this guy has 500 of these. That's wild. Grogu's the only thing I have that one of. I just got 4. Yeah, I wonder who's the... Grogu did really well, too. Grogu went up to like 300 gems at one point. Yeah, Veve floor's at 270. Yeah, Clever Jerk has got a lot of Grogus. Mr. Rolex. Fun of the Sun, I think, sold some of the Grogus. He was a top 5 holder. I think he did have 25 at one point. Probably sold a few. I don't blame him. And then buy something else. I sold my Grogu to essentially secure a Todd when it was like below 350 or something. So yeah, if there's something you want or other Grail, and plus he's up a ton on it. Like you pay 80 and you sell it for 2 whatever, like 240. You know, that's a 3x right there. That's something that has really only happened to like 2 or 3 other collectibles this year, which is like Red Metallic Spider-Man, Grogu, and like, I don't know, I guess if you got lucky on the Silver Surfer comic. Yeah, because like, what are the commons going for now? Like 36 gems? Yeah, so if you got a like, of course, anytime I go for like a pretty popular or like Grail tier comic, more often than not, I always get the uncommon. I don't know. That's what happened to me with Hulk 181. I think I pressed the button like 5 or 6 times, and I ended up getting like 3 uncommons, 1 common, and like rare or something like that. But I have a couple of New Mutants 87. Let's check out New Mutants 87. New Mutants 87. Oh, first appearance of Cable, duh. All right, Adrian. Yeah, I see you. Oh, yeah, so he's got 556. You got 281. It's kind of crazy seeing the gap between the #1 and, #2 person on some of these collectibles. But, yeah, 281 is still a ton. And I've kind of heard there's this new Doctor Doom movie or whatever, the one that's coming out. There's going to be more X-Men. I'm assuming Cable. I mean, Cable's also a pretty big character in the X-Men 97, which I haven't seen the second season of at all. Is that one coming out? Is it already come out yet, or is it coming out? Not till next year. Okay, yeah. Season 2 won't come out till next year. But yeah, Cable showed up a lot in that show too. Sold 8. Now it's, oh, what's up, fun? Sold 8. Now it's 16. Yeah, 16 is still plenty. I bought 5 or 6, and I ended up selling 1 or 2. Yeah, I mean, if you're up so much on those. My Collectibles, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Nicely done. I got to do it. every time. We're just checking out the market, seeing what's going on. Ooh, Todd just went just below. We were looking at him earlier. Yeah, someone just floored this for $4.95. I do think the Grails have pumped a lot, right? Mostly because of the Omi competition and a lot of other stuff going on. There's been a lot of hype. I do think it's going to pull back over the next like week or two until Foster reveals whatever that monthly Omi reward is. Because I do think, you know, like the leaderboard thing here. Because the weekly one is going to come to a close here in a few days, right? For the most part. I've only burned 360 Omi. So the weekly one, that's just like 1.5 million Omi. But for the monthly one, like if they do an airdrop for like the top like 10 or 100 people or whatever with like the mint number, or if they do any of other kind of like hype reward outside of just getting more Omi, I do think there's going to be a second wave of buying that's going to happen. Mostly Grail stuff. But for now, I think it happens, right? Still, like Omi went up, went down. Collectibles went up, they went down. So it's all going to happen in cycles. The only ones I'm kind of surprised, a lot of the Grail comics have just not taken off. That's what I was trying to look at earlier. Like they just really have not recovered all that much. Let me just do commons, keep it simple. You have to like refresh the filter. Common. Oh, I have to scroll down. Apply filters. It's because I'm zoomed in. I'm just going to tab some of these. Yeah, like all these. Iron Man, giant-sized Hulk, Wolverine, X-Men, AF-15, like. Kind of surprised because like these ones. Okay, so AF-15 went up a little bit. I think it was at 150 at one point. Now it's back up to 181. The X-Men, commons. Okay, now they're back up to 18. That's what I meant. Like, I'm like, a lot of these comics, these like kind of like pretty darn high tier, basically Grail comics, like they've always kind of hung out between like 14 to 20 gems. They just kind of oscillate between those like prices constantly. And I did notice, like, when the, you know, gem announcement came out, they did tend to go down. So, okay, I do think a few of these have... I do think a few of these have gotten bought up since I last checked. Yeah, because they're like, you notice, like, these are literally all, like, 16 gems. All right, yeah, this one's on the little bit of lower end. This one's at 13. Like, let's look up... X-Men. All right, let's try this. Are people actually buying them? Giant-sized X-Men? Number 1? All right, there it is. I just want to see if people are actually buying these, or are these just like delistings? Like how much activity's happened in the last like 2 weeks since like the gem announcement, like the gem cash out announcement. All right, yeah, there's been quite a few purchases, actually. Like a few a day. All right, so people have been buying these up when these were cheap. Wow, almost 100 of these. Who's this Comic Bites guy? Grogu's one of the most solid holds, in my opinion. Yeah. I think I'm kind of done selling Grogu's. I've sold 2 so far, and I think I'm going to keep my last 4 for a little bit. At this point, I'd rather just kind of sell a lot of my cheaper collectibles or comics that, you know, at the time I really liked, but now it's, you know, they kind of lost their luster. I'd rather kind of stack something else. Dude, this guy's got 6,321 collectibles. I don't know if that includes comics. Can I see any of them? Probably not. Ooh, okay. I kind of like how you can, because this is something you can't do on Veve. You can't like lurk on other people's profiles and like see their collection like this, right? So this is kind of cool. And I can organize it too. Oh, I can't organize it by like price or anything. Unless it's already organized by price. Oh, yeah, a lot of, or I think it's organized by rarity. So these are all secret rares. Because I'm like, there's no way SR Sabretooth is worth more than like the Ashen Martin or some of these other ones. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah, you can lurk on people's profiles and see what they, I guess if they keep it public. I think there's a way you can make it private so people can't look, but I mean, why not flex what you got, right? Nicely done. Give us a giveaway. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's not up to me. It's up to Veve/MC whether we do a giveaway or not. If not, then there's always next time. ChatTP and Grok will consider Steamboat Willie and Stanley SR as Grails. Yeah, it's okay. So I've used Grok before. I haven't used ChatGPT to ask, but I've used Grok before to ask like what are the Grails on Veve, like collectibles wise. I mean, I do think it's like pulling a lot of like old posts on like Twitter and stuff like that. I still think Steamboat Willie's I don't know if it's a Grail. It's definitely a blue chip one. Could be good. It's probably one of the ones where it's like I think it's one of the best like non-FA collectibles you can get. Like if a collectible is not FA, Steamboat Willie's one of the better ones. But there is a lot of mints. I do believe. I think if I remember correctly, there's like 6,000, a little bit more than that, right? Vibes, are we going to Vegas? Yes, we are. Actually, that reminds me, I need to buy my tickets. I just wasn't sure if I was going to get like the 3-day or the 2-day one. I was trying to check my schedule, but I think I'll end up just doing the 2-day one because I don't know if people are going to be there for. I know people are going to be there for the VIP thing, but no. Thanks for reminding me. I need to actually do that. Let's see. What else do we got going on? Oh no, these are the new listings already. Also, I need to close all these tabs. I did pick up a Lethal Protector. I will say that, again, not financial advice. Lethal Protector, pretty darn cheap. I mean, I bought mine at 29 for 29. 1,000 mints. First ongoing series of Venom. It's 5 gems below the floor. Hell, I'm thinking about buying this, and it's Kid Arcade. Support Kid Arcade by buying his Lethal Protector. I think, like I said, this has 1,000 mints, right? Yeah, I mean this is on par with like the 252, right? Scarcity wise, except it's a one of, so there's not. All right, I can't find the, maybe I should spell out Amazing Fantasy. Not Amazing Fantasy, but Amazing Spider-Man 252. But you get what I mean, right? I mean, it's a one-of, so there's 1,000 of the same thing. But even then, some of the 3,000 mint, like comics, there's more than 1,000 commons. So it's definitely on the scarcer side. I thought there were some other collectibles I was looking at, and I'm like, darn, those are cheap for what they are. Ones that are like scarce and cheap, right? I mean, Thors are always going to be cheap because there's like a bajillion Thors, Black Panther, stuff like that. So, I mean, you can always scoop a common or uncommon for like 1 to 3 gems, right? On those. Same thing with like Deadpool. There's just so many of them. And if you ever wanted to cash in on this hyper grail of my collectibles, you can. It's a hyper grail. It's another level beyond that. I have been meaning to get the blue version, the blue metallic version for that and Corey. Let's see, floor price 20 gems on the poster. If you're an X-Men fan and you've been wanting this like 60th anniversary poster, 20 gemmies isn't bad. What's the lowest price? 13. Its all-time low was like 5 months ago. 17, 15, yeah. Could go a bit cheaper. You don't need to. Maybe that was it. I could have sworn there was like another. I thought there was like a handful of other like FA collectibles. I was like, darn, those are cheap. Magneto. Pretty popular villain, not just in Marvel, but also you know, especially X-Men. Yeah, this one has 1,100 editions. Magneto, and then Professor Xavier. Collectible. Do I need to type in like Professor Xavier? Or is it, oh, is it Charles? Why can't I spell Charles? I own it. I'm just going to look it up this way. I'm kind of lazy. Professor X. I'm like, there's like 3 different names he kind of goes by. Oh, like Charles Xavier or just Xavier, Professor X. Okay, so Professor X. I think it's the same thing. Even less, 1,000. So even less of Professor X than Magneto. 30 gemmies seems a little bit. I know it's still technically below retail. These were going for 40. But I mean, it's still technically below retail, but I do think these can maybe get a bit cheaper. What are Sentinels going? I have been kind of stacking Sentinels. I did notice on the website, it did say, I will say it's pretty easy to find on here, on Veve, whether something is burning or not, because right here it'll say leaving soon. But on the app, I've noticed it's kind of hard to find it. You have to click through a couple different menus to get to that point, if I remember right. I'm just gonna actually pull it up on my app to. Yeah, it's not even on the home page. So if you go on the Veve app, and when you first open it, you know it's on the store page. You have to go down to comics, view all comics. No, view all collectibles. Yeah, you have to click on view all collectibles and then scroll down, and then that's where you see the leaving soon page. But there's only 280 of these left, so I mean this is pretty much mostly sold out, right? Total editions 3,000. Okay, so it's already like 91% sold. So even if these last 280 burn, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference on the price. This is another comic I've been kind of soft stacking or just kind of accumulating a little bit more of, is this Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. So it's the first annual comic for Spider-Man. First appearance of Sinister Six. And dude, this comic is worth, I think, there was a sale like 4 years ago. Let me see if I can find it actually. Annual 1. I'll pull it up here. I don't have like the Go Collect Premium or whatever it's called, so it's not going to show like the full price. But yeah, this is like an $80,000 comic, and it happened, wow, almost exactly 4 years ago. I'm sure it'll sell for more now, especially with all the talks of more Marvel movies, more Spider-Man. We could get a Sinister Six. I mean, we already kind of got a Sinister Six a little bit, right, with the Spider-Man like multiverse one. Yeah, it's a key issue. First appearance of Sinister Six, and this one actually has the low-ish mints too, I believe. I think this one has, yeah, 5,000 edition, so it's on the lower end for sure. So just another comic I've been keeping an eye on. I only have 5. Before I had 1, then I was like, oh, these are actually pretty good, because I think I saw a few for below 2, and I just bought 4. So another one I've been kind of looking at. I hope I'm not giving away some of your guys' secrets. I'm giving away my secrets on some of these. Sometimes I'm wondering, like, why am I telling everyone this? X-Men 12. Oh, this is I've noticed sometimes the search function has an issue. Like I typed in X-Men 12, which is first appearance of Juggernaut, and for whatever reason, it really has an issue. It just pulls up like every single like X-Men comic. Yeah, I can't do it that way either. Ooh, character? I haven't used this character. Can I scroll down? All right, maybe not. I was like, this little character thing is pretty cool, but there's no Juggernaut on here. Jean Grey, John Carter, Kitty Pryde, Mary Jane, Space Ghost, Storm. I'm just going to click Wolverine to just see what happens. Does it show you all the comics that star Wolverine? That's pretty cool. Honestly, I haven't really messed with this search function on the left all that much. I know it might be kind of hard for you guys to see. Artist, series, publisher, Marvel, yeah. I know they've changed the search function like a month or two ago, like when they made that announcement, but I think in some ways, unfortunately, it has gotten worse. At least if you're trying to find something specific. Like if I did X-Men 2, yeah, I'm getting like X-Men 53, X-Men 30, X-Men 25. You know, I can't even find, I forgot what his name was, but yeah, and so there's a local comic book and toy show in my area, and I went down and picked up a few nice Silver Age IRL books. Saw lots of Veve Comics IRL there too. Fun times. Yeah, dude, I remember when we were at New York Comic Con together, and you bought. Speaking of, is this the right one? No. When you bought Rhino, I remember you were there and you saw the physical one and you're like, oh, I gotta get it. Are you still going for that collection? Are you still trying to get that like 1 through 100 deal, like physically? Because I remember you bought it and that was really cool. I just bought, that's the same Comic-Con I bought my first appearance Apocalypse. Because I always did like Apocalypse as a villain in the X-Men. Like cartoons and stuff. He was like super powerful and like all the X-Men always had to work together. And stuff like that. Which one is Rhino? Shoot me a link and I'll join you. Okay, I'm on what's it called? Streamlabs. I'm not on what's it called? StreamYard. Let me see if I can figure this out. If I can figure this out on StreamYard, maybe we can do it. Only if it'll work, of course? Okay, yeah. If not, then, I mean, as long as I just know ahead of time, I'll definitely, and funnily enough, this, like, literally this stream, I was contemplating, I'm like, man, I like using OBS, or Streamlabs OBS, but I'm like, it is always such a pain to bring on guests or to do an interview, like anything, you know, and that's usually the fun part of streams, right? And I do want to bring on more guests and talk with collectors and stuff like that, make it a bit easier, so... Oh, there's your Rhino comic. There you go. If not this time, let me see. Close. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. Unfortunately not this. I'm trying to mess with the StreamYard. All right. Next time for sure. I'll let you know next time I'm streaming. Or maybe just next time when I stream, just going forward, I'll just use StreamYard so I can just like pull you up easier. Because honestly, I have been debating for like months. I'm like, dude, should I even stick with OBS? Because there's more bells and whistles. But I'm like, anytime MC or someone in chat or anyone else, wants to get brought up, or if I want to do an interview, it can be a bit of a pain. So, but yeah, next time, and then we'll also potentially do like a giveaway next time with you on. That'll be fun. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. But no, that's cool. So you're adding more to your physical comic collection. That's awesome. Yeah, I remember that time you bought Rhino and you were holding like AF-15 and all that stuff. That was really cool. Are you going to Vegas, MC? Are you and Corey? Maybe I'll just ask Corey myself, or I'll message him on X. But it would be really cool to have us all there again. Because I think the last time we were all together was, that New York Comic Con. Yeah, he was there. We were talking with them at New York Comic Con. And then before that, there was D-Con. Yeah, and then we were all there for that again. I'll be in New York, and I want to be in Vegas. Yeah. Oh, hopefully you can get to Vegas, man. Vegas would be fun. Luckily, I'm sure flights are cheap. It's just the housing and stuff could be a little bit. Oh, this guy changed his price. He was $495. Now he's $505. I guess he undercut by too much. He wants the extra 10 gems. Yeah, it'll be fun. What we're looking at. All right, we're going to flip this. That's what we're going to do. We're going to see which collectibles pulled back the most, too. Man, Groot is getting cheap. $1. This is the rare Groot. It's not even like the common Groot. This is the rare Groot. That's, I think, slightly animated, if I remember right. Make it happen, MC. Vegas needs you. Yeah. Vegas is going to be fun. I'm not really a gambling person or anything. I just want to go there, hang out with people, have a few drinks, shoot the shit, have some fun. All right, so these are all collectibles that have dropped significantly in the last 24 hours. Or Action Steve. I was like, wait, F.A. Steve Rogers? I'm like, that thing is cheap. Her first appearance. A lot of the Harleys are down. Some of the DC stuff is down. Doc Ock. If you want a first appearance Dr. Octopus for less than 2 gems, you can do that. I mean, it can't go much lower, right? And this is what I mean. Like, it's actually really cool. This is kind of why, like, I think I might have had one sign up or something like that with my QR like referral code thing when I was at the convention or whatever. But when people get on Veve, like, this is kind of why I encourage them to get on Veve and go to the market, because it's like, if you like Spider-Man, you can pick up Doc Ock for less than 2 gems. And I'm pretty sure there's even how much is the normal Spider-Man going for right now? I mean, you can pick up the Marvel Mighty Spider-Man for, under 4 gems right now, but I'm pretty sure the FA is above 10 gems for sure. Yeah, he's at 30. Yeah, so you can't get the FA Spider-Man for under 10 gems, but like even with 10 gems, you can still get a lot of stuff. You could probably get anywhere between like 4 to 6 pretty solid collectibles and a handful of like good comics for, either or. Collectibles or gems, or collectibles or comics for like 10 gems. All right, so these ones pulled back like 28%. Let's see what else went back in price. Wolverine. Wow, yeah, you can get Wolverine, the uncommon. I think this is the lowest. Yeah, there's an uncommon, a ultra rare, and a secret rare. I really like his brown. I really like brown suit Wolverine a lot. I think it's because there was a pilot episode in '89 called Pride of X-Men or whatever, and he wore this like outfit, right? And there was a whole arcade video game based off. I think I talked about it before, like a Konami arcade game. And I remember playing me and my siblings played the crap out of that arcade game. So it has a special place in my heart because we'd always go to. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I think it was called not Funko Land. I'm trying to remember the name. I'm like, my eyes are closed. I'm trying to think. I'm like, what was the name of that place? I don't know. It was like this big, like they had go-karts and arcade and, you get tickets, it's not a Chuck E. Cheese or anything like that, but it was definitely much bigger than that. And they had the arcade there. And even though it paid out no tickets, I would just waste all my tokens or all my quarters on that game. Even the game was like terribly balanced, or I should say unbalanced technically. There we go. We got crotch shot Batman. Still gonna call him crotch shot Batman. Just the angle. I mean, because this was I noticed like this was a collectible that Veve used in like early promotional material and stuff. Like, yeah, like literally like this. Here, I'll show you. I literally just typed in like Veve Google. I literally just Googled Veve digital collectibles. And this one right here. And this one came out a long time ago. Like, I think this one, like, we didn't get this actual Batman till like 2022 or something like that. And I think they were using this Batman. Yeah, March 24, 2021. That's when this like article or picture was uploaded. I thought there was a button on here to go to the Veve market listing. There it is. So when did this one come out? 2022. So the promo picture was a full year before we even got it. So this came out April 2022. This article was from March 24, 2021. So like that, I mean, this kind of just also goes to show you like how early some of these collectibles are just ready on Veve, like ready to be released, but they're just waiting for the right time or licensor approval or whatever, right? But yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's why even I was kind of speculating that a lot of the collectibles that were used for like early Veve advertisements would tend to do well. It's like we have Todd there, we have Big Barda, we have like the black and white ones, even like Finn Mertens, and then some other. Dude, the app looked so different back then. It's kind of wild to look at it now. The Ghostbusters logo. There's the Ben Reilly Spider-Man, both the ultra rare and the uncommon. Throg. Ghostbusters thing again. Yeah, I mean, it's wild. Like, we didn't get that collectible till a full year later on the app, so I bet interesting connection there. Ooh, a lot of secret rares getting listed. Speaking of Predator, posters. When are we going to get the actual Predator on the app? That's what I want. We have Alien. Now we just need the Predator. There it is. If the blue metallic gets closer to 50-ish, I might pull the trigger on one. But right now, 80. A little steep. And there's how many again? 88. Yeah, all these had 88 editions, so. Do these have a different... Okay, those aren't animated, I believe. Yeah, I think the uncommon versions are animated. I think, and I still think there's something going on with this Beskar ingots. I think maybe next year, next Star Wars year, there could be some sort of craftable thing with it, but right now, not so much. There's Corey going for 88. We need a blue metallic vibes. Yeah, convince the people over at... who did these again? Details. Wharf Street Studios Limited. So Epico. Yeah. Convince them. Just some dude with sunglasses, I guess. With aviator sunglasses, that'll work. Whoops. went too far. Okay, so these are things that have gone down in price, and we're getting to the point where it's getting like 20% pullback is an okay amount. We don't look at Batman versus Killer Croc. Is this one still at 88? Nope, someone bought it. This is why I like streaming. When again, you guys can do what you want. All I'm trying to do is bring attention to like cool collectibles that are typically underpriced or that people like tend to like overlook. Because I'm like, dude, Darkseid for single digit gemmies, little on the cheap side. I know he's like not the most popular villain, but KFC, Colonel Sanders, the pin, 50. More pins would be cool. Fig pin. I actually do kind of like the pins. I just kind of wish we had more of them. The KFC one's a little random, but I mean, it's the first one, so that's cool. Sometimes I just kind of like going through the market like this. And I usually don't go too far down. After a while, I'm like, eh. All right, probably going to end the stream soonish. In about 5 minutes. We're coming up on 2 hours, and I usually try to cut off my streams around that time. Unless you guys want to talk about something really quick, or a collectible, or a comic, or whatever it is. I am planning on. I do want to make a video, you know, talking about 5 things I like and 5 improvements about Stacker, 5 things I like and 5 improvements I wish that were on like Veve. You know, or things that obviously one of the things is just the search function. I think in some ways it's kind of gotten worse, at least if you're searching for like specific comics and stuff. And then Stacker's awesome, but I think there's a lot of like little things that if they did, it would make it so much better. Like being able to listen like a dollar amount, or being able to just see what the difference is between the Veve, because it says it right here, right? Like, I don't know. I'll pretend to buy this. I'm not actually going to buy it, but oh, it says I don't want to balance. I'll look at something else. Or no, it should say right there. So like right there, it says Veve. So it already knows the Veve floor price, which is 155 $155, and the difference is that amount. Like if I could just get this Veve floor price difference on the front page, I would pay money to do that, and I think a lot of people would too, because people want to know what the discrepancy is, right? People want to feel like they're getting a deal. So if you could just figure out, because even if you sort this by price, this only tells you what the cheapest listings are. They don't tell you like what the biggest difference is between Stacker and Veve, right? You have to like manually click through every collectible or comic or whatever to figure out like what the actual difference is. Hope you have a great Saturday and weekend. Look out for a big reveal this upcoming week. Ooh. Damn, dude, I might have to stream tomorrow, and maybe you'll be around. We'll see. I'll try and give you a heads up later today if I decide to stream tomorrow. And I know you can't tell us, but yeah, that'll be big. Look out for a big reveal. Tell us, MC, we can't wait. Yeah. Big reveal. What do you guys think it is? Let's just speculate. Let's just say all the craziest stuff and see if he answers. I think big reveal. I really hope in order, I really hope it's my top 2 right now is either burning old comics, because David Yu did say like, I don't know, like 2 months ago, maybe a little bit more than that ago, about like I think in an interview, he did kind of agree, like, yeah, we do kind of have a lot of the old comics. You know, if you're talking about, I mean, you can literally look at it right here. NFTs, comics, release date. We'll flip this common just to kind of keep it simple. Like all these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like all these first like 6 comics all have like 60,000 editions. Yeah, like ASM #1, 60,000 editions, 60,000. I think this has 50. I think this was like 50 or 60. 60, 60. Like there's a lot of it, at least for these first few. And there's like one outlier. Yeah, it's the first appearance of, yeah, this one. Green Goblin. This is a good one. If you guys are going to do, I will say, I'm just throwing it out there. If you guys are going to do a comic burn and you're like testing it out, I think the Green Goblin's a good one because there's 70,000 editions. And like, you know, FA Green Goblin is, you know, it's a big deal, but I think you kind of want to smooth things out first before you do like Marvel Comics 1, Fantastic Four #1, ASM #1, like before you start burning those, if we're going to do that. So that's #1. Like if we go back to burning old comics for new comics or exclusive things, that would be cool. #2 would be card collecting. If we get, what's the card? There's one in New Zealand. It's called Blood something. I'm trying to remember the name of it. If we get some sort of card collecting, what's it called? Pokemon? Yeah. Ahsoka, maybe. Is this it? Flesh and Blood. That's what it's called. Let me see if I can pull it up. You know, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not Pokemon. It's not Magic the Gathering. But Flesh and Blood is out of New Zealand, and I'm assuming David Yu has some sort of connection there since he owns his own shop, and if they're going to do some sort of pack opening or card collecting, I will say if Veve allows the pack to stay intact without you having to open it, I mean, just basically just do what Candy does, right? Like you could just buy it, and if you want to open it, great. If not, then whatever. I'm just not sure how that would work with the system they currently have. I'm not sure if it's a system limitation or whatever, but yeah, I mean, if you can essentially keep the pack intact, because even the pack itself is a collectible, in my opinion, that would be cool. So Flesh and Blood, whatever it is, Pokemon, not Pokemon, some sort of card collecting thing. That's like my top 2 right now. It's just like burn old comics, and if we're talking like new verticals or new things to get people excited, those 2 things. Or it could just be a new IP, new collectible, new hero. Probably something, you know, another red metallic could be the utility for red metallic Spider-Man, you know. Another first appearance collectible. Another evolvable. It could be anything, but all right, let's see. See if there's any deals on here before we go. I'm just going to check the market one more time. Any new listings? Ooh. Wait, did he remove his Todd? His Todd's for under Veve floor price. I need to get rid of this page. Yeah, he removed it. N-Town is really trying to sell his Todd. He's listed it twice on Veve for different prices and now on Stacker. R2-D2, Superman. I don't know if he's like cashing out of his Grails. Let's kind of lurk at his profile a little bit. Let's see what's going on, if it's public. 62 listings. Selling a lot of his black and white stuff. He's selling a whole first set of black and white. Carnage. Carnage is kind of another villain that I think is somewhat undervalued a little bit. I know it's not the most popular villain for Spider-Man. He like might be top 10, definitely not top 5, but like maybe top 10. Yeah, 65 gems, while Venom is pretty much more than double that price. Some Grogu's. Ooh. Is that right? There's a 3-digit. It's the rare Grogu. It's not the SR Grogu. And I think that's another thing, too. People are kind of... Like, this Grogu is still FA, too. There's just less of them. Or there's more of them, sorry. Yeah, 17 gems. Like, this Grogu is still technically FA. There's just... remaining editions. There's 1,200 in circulation. Or no. Remaining... Wait, is it sold editions 1,200. Remaining editions 1,700. Editions in circulation 2,900. Okay, I think that just means... Yeah. Okay, in circulation... Okay, that's because Veve kept 50 for themselves. There's 29 total in circulation, technically. Until they get burned or something like that. Or, is there a burn for these? I don't think so. But, again, this is still FA Grogu. I know it's... the box price is 20 for these, so they're not that far below box. I just saw this 3-digit for like 32, and I'm like, eh. Yeah, I think this is also a good way to kind of see. I don't think this person's like desperate to like, you know, sell everything. But when you do see someone like, you've seen it on Veve before where sometimes you'll see one person just kind of floor a lot of comics or collectibles like back to back to back, like well under floor price just to kind of get extra gems or whatever they're trying to do. That looks like this is the same thing you can do on Stacker. Like you can even just check out their profile and see what they got listed. And if it's a big enough discount, that's worthwhile to get. You can do that as well. Oh man, Mr. DNA for 3 gemmies. If you're a Jurassic Park fan. All right. I think that's it. I think I'm going to call it at that point. Anyway, thanks everyone for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. My stream tomorrow, I'll try and give you guys more of a heads up on X, whether I'm going to do it or not. So, and I know it's football week and all that stuff too. So people are getting excited about that. It just depends if my friends want to hang out and I get invited. So anyway, hope you guys take care. Have a good one. And please double and triple check all of your listings so you don't screw yourself over. And hope you